Well, I first met Carrie at my best friend from high school at their wedding. She's very outgoing. You can't help but not notice how she laughs. Just fantastic personality and kind of something that I was intrigued by. We were married about a year before she was pregnant with Brooke. This second pregnancy was different. She seemed more short of breath this time around. She didn't feel right, probably, I would say around 4th of July. Our anniversary is the 4th of July, so, we typically go out to all these parades, in the area. We had to walk quite a ways just to get to the parade, so she had to stop a few times, which started to seem like, okay, maybe it's just we're getting closer and closer because, she was due in like August, so we're like toward the tail end of it. She started to feel a little off, and then she decided I need to get to the hospital and just be like, I just don't feel very good. They just kind of watched her overnight. Thought she didn't have enough fluid in her body, so they were just kind of giving her some extra fluid, and it didn't really help. So we had to make the move to get transferred to Strong. They did tell us that she was in some pretty rough shape. There was some potential situations we could have been put in if he, had this umbilical cord around his neck, and we just because of blood loss, and for her would be more dramatic, we'd have to basically make a choice between the two.
I first met Carrie a couple of days after she had delivered. She was in the hospital and the baby was doing fine, but she was very sick and she had significant heart failure. And it was noted before she delivered that her heart was very weak, but now she was getting worse.
She had the worst type of heart failure that we deal with as cardiologists. She had what we call non-ischemic cardiomyopathy, and it was most likely related to her recent pregnancy.
But she had also had leukemia as a child and was treated with medicines that are known to cause the heart to become weak.
With her, both her left and her right side of her heart were severely compromised. So she required heart support with a machine called ECMO, which actually does the work of the heart and lungs.
And it was actually placed in a way where she could actually walk around the unit. The way this device is typically placed, patients are in bed. And we were very concerned that she would become weaker and deconditioned if she stayed in bed for a long period of time.
And so her real only option long-term was heart transplant.
This was obviously very difficult for her, but for her family as well. To see their loved one so ill, fortunately she had a very loving and caring family that took such great care of her and her two children.
I had two moments. Probably thinking with life without Carrie, actually, talk with my parents on that a little bit.
And we're always taught to keep a professional distance when you deal with patients. However, with her, she had two young children at home, and I also have two young children. And I think a lot of the people who were taking care of her, understood, the circumstance that she was in. And so it took on a different level. Like, it actually became to the point where it became very personal, and her problem became our problem. And so every day I remember my team would be asking, have we found a heart for her? Have we found a heart for her? And it was always like, whenever I got the call at night, I would be like, is this the heart that is meant for her?
I just remember him walking in and he was just so excited and happy, and I just liked his energy was so awesome. It was like, yes, we finally did it. And it was the best news ever. I remember calling Andrew. I could barely talk. He was asking me, what's wrong, because I was crying. And I told him that I got a heart.
When we got the call for Carrie, I saw it was the right blood type, it was the right size, and I was like, wow, this is the moment we've been waiting for.
After the transplant, I was in the ICU for a little bit longer. Eventually, I had physical therapists come to my room and work on some exercises, some things to do on my own. And then once I was healthy enough and cleared by the doctors, they sent me down to the rehab floor.
Carrie was gone from July through December 13th.
We went to Daytona Beach last year, and we got on the beach. I turned to my husband and I said, I may have missed this, to be here right now doing this. Something I may not have had. I think about last year is when I started to feel normal again. I just want to thank my team for not giving up on me, for not giving up on my family. Trying everything they could so I can be here today.
I don't think thank you can even be enough.